Hello indie game fan, art styles make games, so let's take a look at some stunning upcoming games, beginning with Akatori, a Metroidvania title that I've long had my eye on, which did get a significant visual overhaul while in development, moving from pure pixel art to one that mixes 2D sprites with 3D environments. The original trailer showed you swapping between two different time periods, which isn't as obvious here, but there should still be 10 different biomes in different stages of historical development and looks pretty nice overall. We also got our second peek at OPUS Prism Peak, a narrative adventure game from developer Segono Inc., who made OPUS, The Day We Found Earth, Rocket of Whispers, and most recently Echo of Starsong in 2021, all being great narrative titles, so I'm excited to see where this game goes. It has more of a focus on photography, with the trailer stating capture the moment, then learn to let go, so I'm betting that this game will make you cry, so if you're in for an emotional experience, drop this one a wishlist. This video is brought to you by Before the Night, a creepy horror action-adventure game set in a world where humans and animals have their roles reversed. You play as a pet human named Lisa on a quest to revive her master from the dead, having to gather precious flowers of life in order to do so. But of course, that comes with a twist. You see, the animals in this world can be infected by the darkness and will turn into monsters at night, triggered of course by plucking a flower of life, where the game then turns into a tense horror title as you seek to outrun or hide from the monsters. While the art style does look kind of cute, this twisted fairy tale world certainly hides something much darker, where you do need to uncover the secrets of the animal village as well. This game released on Steam in July 2022 and has a very positive rating, where publisher CFK is bringing it to Switch, releasing on September the 28th, with pre-sales opening on September 7th along with a free demo, so if interested, check it out via the link in the description below. If there's a game that emphasizes the importance of key art, that would be Ancient Weapon Holly, since it looks absolutely sick, which you'll see at the end of this section, where it's a not-so-indie action roguelite coming to us from Japanese developer Acquire Corp and its inspiration from the unlikeliest of places. Yes, you are generally running around and attacking enemies directly, but are also able to dig holes and set traps, causing enemies to fall into them and then burying them load runner style, which I certainly did not expect from a game like this and has potentially interesting implications on the combat. We did also get a new trailer for this gorgeous city builder title named Synergy that is in the vein of the Sierra city builder titles like Referral, and more importantly, comes to us from Lakia Studio, who previously made Leaf's Path of Progress, so they have experience in this exact kind of game.
The water we harvest, the plants we grow, the air we filter. Any waste would be fatal to our survival.
We must learn to live in harmony with this world. For too long, we have wandered without purpose. From now on, our city will be a source of hope.
Visually, this draws inspiration from the artist Mobius, which you have seen in other indie games like Sable, and looks beautifully done here. You are leading humans on a hostile planet, with the main form of adversity being extreme weather conditions and natural disasters, but without the stereotypical aliens to worry about, at least based on what is shown so far. I do still think that there's plenty of room for progression and research, and with a look like this, sure is easy on the eyes.
Welcome to Carpentersville, a small town with a big problem. Vampires. But a new vampire slayer's here. Her name is Becky Brewster, a feisty high schooler with a fondness for field hockey and a beef with bloodsuckers.
Here's another look at this long in development title, of which long-time fans of the channel would be familiar with, since I've been covering this for many years, where #blood is so impressive since it looks exactly like a Cartoon Network title. which I attribute to this studio's pedigree, which is exactly in animation. This is a top-down action-adventure title where you play as the latest in a long line of vampire hunters, but just so happen to be a high school kid as well, having to balance school with monster slaying. It's a lot more bloody than you might expect, but still looks awesome, and after having been picked up by Humble Games as their publisher, seems to be accelerating development towards release next year.
Blood.
I don't have too much to add on this one since Bahnsen Knights comes to us from the developer of Mothman 1966 and Varney Lake, games which have a similar visual style and are all visual novel/adventure games about supernatural spooky stuff. The art style pays tribute to games from the 80s and is excellently done, with the dithering of the pixel art and intentionally limited colour palette chosen nails exactly what they're going for. In this entry, you play as an undercover special agent infiltrating a cult known as the Bahnsen Knights, trying to find out what happened to your fellow agent and close friend who has gone missing, and looks to be another good entry in their thriller/horror space. I was initially a little confused when it came to Hexxen Hunters, and yes, upon further investigation, this has nothing to do with the first-person shooter Hexxen with one X, but anyway, this is a turn-based tactics RPG that looks to take some inspiration from games like Mutant Year Zero with the real-time exploration that snaps into tactical combat. This is set in a grimdark world where demons and monsters lurk in the dark, and you lead a party of hunters to take on various contracts to eliminate these creatures from the world. It has a neat gameplay loop where you venture out at night to engage in battles, with each of the 8 hunters having different skill trees, mechanics and equipment, which then switches with a hamlet portion where you're upgrading facilities, researching your foes, repairing and upgrading equipment before setting out again, definitely having Darkest Dungeon vibes. The cel-shaded look and theme is kind of similar to Darksburg from 2020, so nothing too innovative here, but it looks good, so let's hope the tactical combat matches the quality of the look. A newly revealed title is that of the also gorgeous Arco, an action-adventure tactical title set in a beautiful pixel art world. There are supposed to be 3 tales in this game, telling a story of different characters as they pursue their vendettas against something known as the Red Company Gang, where it's not only humans that you have to deal with, but monsters as well. This has an interesting simultaneous turn-based combat system where you can stop and pause to plan your next move, but then actions are resolved simultaneously, so there's a degree of planning and anticipation of what your enemy is going to do. While uncommon, this is not the first game to have this kind of combat system, so I wonder how well they will execute, where one of the developers credited on this, Frenak, is an excellent follow on Twitter for their pixel art. The upcoming pixel art Metroidvania Altered Alma is one of my most anticipated titles since it looks sick, and as some of you have pointed out, might be competing with Blasphemous in terms of violence and brutality of the execution animations. It is set in New Barcelona, so they released a trailer titled Welcome to Sagrada Familia based on the iconic tourist attraction, where it should be fascinating to see their spin on things. The action and platforming continues to look awesome, even showing off the teleporting throwing dagger, so hype continues to build for this game. moment I saw this title, I knew I had to cover it since Hell Trench opened with great key art and then switched to pixel art, with both looking great, and even more curiously is the square play area with the UI elements on the sides, reminding me a lot of Star of Providence, or the game formerly known as Monolith. Curiously, this is an action roguelite, but self-described as shoot to move, where you're using the momentum of firing off shots to propel yourself in the other direction, so it should be something interesting to wrap your head around, and it's a must-get for roguelite fans, and you can find more of my recent favourites in this video.